Welcome into the channel. Today on Reviews with Ryan, I'm going to be reviewing a horror movie called Who Invited Them, coming to Shudder on September the 1st. I got an early screener to check this film out and let you guys know if this film is worth a watch. Before I get into my thoughts on this new film, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment below your thoughts on this film, and also turn the notification bell so you never miss any video that I post and I upload weekly. And now without further ado, let's get scared and let's talk about this film. Adam and Margot's housewarming party is a success. One couple linger after the other guests, revealing themselves to be wealthy neighbors. As one nightcap leads to another, Adam and Margot suspect their new friends are duplicitous strangers. The film stars Perry Matfeld, Ryan Hansen, Timothy Granaderos, Melissa Tang, and was directed by Duncan Birmingham. Going into Who Invited Them, I knew nothing about this movie. Another screener from Shudder that I really knew nothing about. I didn't read a synopsis. I saw a actual poster that they sent me, and that was really it. I love going into these movies pretty blind and not knowing much. The director, Duncan Birmingham, this is actually his directorial debut with a full-length film, as he's only done short films. The film starts off with this little boy actually having these bad dreams, and he is the son of Adam and Margot, who just got this new house. He has these bad dreams, and eventually he ends up going to spend the night at one of their friends' houses. Adam and Margot, they bought this new house. They're having this housewarming party. They have a lot of snobby kind of people there. Everybody's really rich, and all of a sudden a lot of their friends are leaving because it's really not their thing, and it's kind of awkward for some of these people. And then they have two other guests that they talk about. They're named Tom and Sasha, and they don't know who these two guests are, and nobody invited them, so they're wondering who they are. And as everybody leaves and they're talking about these two guests, they actually are still in their house. So they actually catch them in the act, actually chilling and hanging around in their house. So when they actually introduce themselves to them, they are a little bit ticked off, and they find out that they are apparently the neighbors. And after finding out that they are the neighbors, they really start bonding between the two couples. But a lot of times in this film, they are separating, so the women go with the women and the guys go with the guys. So you learn a lot about the different couples. So this film, I wouldn't recommend this film to everybody because this film is very much focused on a character study. It's a horror film to a degree, but it has the suspense in it. But I will say this, I don't feel like this film is really going to work for everybody, mainly because a lot of this film and the runtime, the film is 77 minutes and then the credits hit. It's technically, I guess, 80 with the credits, but it's 77 minutes of actual movie. So when this film is actually going, a lot of this film really is centralized on these two couples, and they're playing these different games, and they're partying, they're doing drugs, they're drinking, and you learn a little bit of secrets about this house that this couple, Adam and Margot, actually bought. As far as positives that I can say about this film, the camera work. I don't think the camera work is actually really excellent or really groundbreaking, but the camera is clear. There's nothing blurry about the camera. There's no really difficult shots. A lot of the shots are in the house, and there's a couple shots while they're outside at a pool. But most of the time, there really isn't nothing difficult to really shoot. The sound is fine. The editing is fine. Majority of the acting in this is pretty good for the most part. There was probably some nitpicky points in the film where there wasn't that great of acting, but it really wasn't on the main actors of the film. But mostly the acting is done pretty well. Now, negatives that I can say about this film is there's a few things. I don't understand why we have a couple side stories in here. Like, we have one story where this woman is driving around at night, and it really amounts to nothing, really. I don't really know why we have it in the film. It doesn't really add to the story, and it didn't need to be there. And then also the fact that this couple has a son. I don't really know why we have to really even mention that they have a son. He has these bad dreams, and they don't really lead to anywhere. He stays at another couple's house, and he really isn't a part of the story for the most part. That's kind of a waste as well. The other problem that I had with this film is the fact that this is only 77 minutes, and a lot of the actual horror of this movie is the last 10 to 15 minutes of the film. And this is also probably one of the first times that I'm really undecided on a score to give this film, because on one hand, I really like the actual character study of these characters, and I like that we get a little bit of tension with the actual house and just how these different characters are bonding together. And I also like how there's a little bit of suspense in the air. You can definitely feel that suspense. And I do like the horror aspects of the last 15 minutes of the film. But the reason why I'm really kind of in between about this film is the ending. This is probably the first time in a long time that I've watched a film, and I've watched this film twice, mind you, and I don't understand the ending. And I picked up on a few things watching it the second time, but I still don't actually understand the full ending. And I think that's where another problem of this film is really going to get people to really feel a little bit different about this film and how they rate this film. But for me, I think for a film being a first film for a director, I think I'm going to give a score of this film a 3 out of 5. I was in between a 2.5 and a 3, but I'm going to give this score of this film a 3 because I do like a lot of the elements that this director brought into this film. I like the character portion and the character study. I like that there are parts where there are some suspenseful moments. Now, the score in this film, it's not really suspenseful, but it's suspenseful when it's needed in the horror parts. But I'm really torn. I really think a 3 out of 5 is the right score for this film. And I really want to hear from you guys about the ending of this film if you've watched it. I'm really curious to see how people really take the ending of this film. And if somebody knows the actual ending of the film and they understood it all, feel free to comment down below. Just put spoiler alert in case anybody wants to watch this film, because I'm very curious to see what the actual ending of this film actually was. It's really kind of puzzling to me that I watched this film twice and I still don't get the full ending. But thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys on my next one.